another NSTI might come back to your NSTI, and that will be a little troublesome, but we have to go with that. Now, anyone who has moved to some other NSTI has joined today? The problem I am facing is that, fine, we will do that at the end. How many are from Chennai have joined today? Yesterday, only 4 had joined. It seems yesterday evening only 4 had joined. So, like, it seems today most of them seem to be from Chennai. Guys from Trivandrum. 28. Now, please confirm how many from Chennai. Since Chennai yesterday evening, most of you were not there. So I just wanted to know how many have joined today. So Preeti is there. Today also only 4 have joined, right? Okay. Fine, Pooja, in case someone else also joins, let me know. Since I have to mark their attendances. Uh, just let me know. Ganga is there. Fine. Thank you, Ganga. Ganga, you are from Trivandrum, right?
Yes,
Krishnamurti, yep. Krishnamurti, I have been marking you. Yesterday also you were there. Yep, Ganga. Thank you for confirming. Mm, fine. So like again, I believe like yesterday, the same condition, Chennai, only 4. Rest have moved out, or they are still there, or that is not something of our concern. They would be moving out. Fine, but that might be a little tricky for Chennai. Fine, guys. So like yesterday we discussed like today afternoon uh, we would be having Kashif who would be taking your sessions with the basic hardwares of a computing system. So he would be showing you he has a few devices, so he would be showing it to you. So that would be the afternoon session, for sure. So meanwhile, let us get back to our networking. So in networking, someone says hi. Hi. Who would that be? NSTI Calicut? I don't know. Guys, it would be better in case you mention your names instead of writing CLT or anything or Chennai. It would be better you write your name so that when I download the attendance, that would be easier for me to just mark. Harilal is from Chennai. Fine. Yep, Harilal, I uh, completely do understand. Fine. So, like uh, getting back to computer networks. The next topic that we need to understand is the transmission media. So let us get started with the transmission media. So how would you define a transmission media? What according to you is the transmission media? Now, don't get to some kind of that theoretical answer. Let us understand what it is according to us. What do I understand, or what do we understand, and how do we understand? A couple of days, someone said communication. So it can be defined as a communication channel. What else? Physical path. Very good. Who is that? Anaga. Fine. Thank you, Anaga. That is a physical path. It is not logical. It is physical. Great. What else? Or let me call it a physical communication channel. Let me call it physical communication channel. Fine. Someone says something really good. Communication channel. Yep. Very correct. Uh, uh, Ahalya says communication channel. Obviously, really good. Then Pooja says we transfer. Uh, this R is not required here. So we transfer the data from source to destination with the help of transmission media. Really good. Thank you, Pooja. So what we do is transfer data from the source to destination. So I believe you understand that it can be any medium through which you are sending your data from the source to the destination. Now, my computer wants to send data to you, like I am right now sending data via this video. This video is being shared from me to you. So this is being shared via some communication channels. That might be radio waves, that might be anything. Uh, you are sending some you are transferring some files from your phone to your laptop. So you are might be using Bluetooth. So that Bluetooth is my transmission media. You might use that USB-C type, I don't know what do you guys call, but those C type charger ports, you might use that. So that is also a communication channel that is enabling transfer of data. So that brings us to another couple of terms that is wired and wireless. So I use this USB channel, USB cable that was our wired communication or wired channel. And I am using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to share this data. That would be a wireless channel. So I believe everyone has understand this transmission media. That is a physical communication channel, that might be a wire, that might be a Bluetooth channel, that might be Wi-Fi channel, or it might be radio waves which we transfer to the satellites, and that satellites reflected back to the Earth. So it can be any. And the purpose is, if we have a source, the source has some destination. Yeah, the source has some data, and that data needs to be transferred to the destination, that is the receiver, from source to destination, or from sender to receiver. From sender to receiver. Now, anyone would like to ask or add something to this? Let us also discuss a few terms. I believe most of you would be knowing this. So we have two things called bit and bytes. Now, what do you know about a bit? What, according to you, is a bit? We are not talking about Bitcoin, but yes, bit that we have been learning since beginning.
Sir, bit means binary digit.
Binary digit. It would be the smallest unit of data. So that might be a binary digit. Yes, bit is the smallest unit of storage. Uh, Storage or yep, that can be fine. Yep, I believe that I would take. So the smallest unit of data, smallest unit of data. Uh, I won't say you are wrong if you are saying it is storage, but I would better say smallest unit of data. So that is either zero or a one. So someone said binary. Yep. Someone said, no, Ganga, that would be fine. I won't say you are wrong. You are perfectly fine when you are talking about the storage. But like when we are talking about data, then it would be storage. But when we are talking about communication, let us better call it data. So don't feel that you were wrong. No, you were absolutely correct. But only the context was
Yes,
a
sir.
little. Yep. The only thing was context. Fine. Thank you, Rakesh. 8 bits mean a byte. When you have eight different bits, like you create a byte of data like 1001101. So that makes a 8 bits of data. So this 8 bits of data would be called as a byte. So 8 bits create a byte. So this is what you guys already know. There was nothing to tell in this. You guys already knew. So normally what we do is we are transferring bits of data, right? And we are out of these bits, we are collecting together to form bytes, and these bytes are creating packets. We would come to the packet later, but might be like when we would be talking about this transmission media, I might come to something called packets at times. So don't be like, "Ki, I don't know this term." Packets are nothing but a collection of bytes which, like, I have a lot of information to share with you. Someone has said something. Hmm, Preeti, that image is not visible to us. I don't know. Uh, so what packets are? You have you have a whole lot of data to transfer. Now what you do is the whole chunk is broken down into packets, and that packets contain a few bytes of data. So that is our packets. So let us get back and try to understand the different types of transmission media that we might have. So we transmission media or medium. It can be media, it can be medium. You both would be correct, not a problem. So we said we can have either wired or unwired. So for wired, I would say what they say is guided media, guided medium or media. You can use either. Then we can have the wireless medium. Yep. Someone has added something. Pooja says coaxial, twisted, pair fiber optic. Yep. These are your guided or wired media. Then we can have wireless media. Wireless media can also be referred to as unguided. Now, can anyone help me understand why we are calling this wired medium to be guided and wireless as unguided? Yep, very correct. Bluetooth, infrared, radio frequency, they all are wireless media. Now that is perfectly fine, and that is Pooja. Thank you, Pooja. That is really nice of you, and really appreciable. Now, before we try to understand the different types of wired and wireless media, can anyone help me understand why we are calling guided and unguided media? Wired, you understood. Like we would be using a twisted pair cable or coaxial cable or a fiber optic. So that is why we are calling it a wire. So we are using a wire to transfer that data. Now we are the other would be yeah, wireless. So we are using radio waves. We are using Bluetooth. We are using infrared. Someone said something else. Uh, yeah, radio waves, infrared, Bluetooth, wireless. So we are using wireless technology. So that is fine. But why we are calling it guided and unguided? Can anyone just let us understand? Your ideas. Don't be hesitant and look. You don't know, that is perfectly fine. You are not supposed to know everything. But not trying to learn. Yeah, someone said something. Someone wants to say something. Whoever wants, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. I give you that much of liberty. So try. Making mistakes will make you learn. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. And I would not like you to Google it out. Don't Google it out. I will tell you where you can Google, but don't just think, imagine. Fine, let me tell you. So you guys understood why we are calling it wired and why we are calling it wireless. So in a wire, what happens is that route is already defined. So you have to follow that particular route. You can't make changes. You can't go this way. You can't go that way. You can't do anything like that. Yeah. You understood yeah, why we call it wired. So uh, again, you have a wire. Now the thing is, in we are calling it guided. Now we already have a guidance. Like this is the way, and you have to take this way only. You cannot, even if you try, you cannot. It is like a straight road, right? It is a straight road. So you cannot one route only. It's a straight road. You don't have any alleys, no allies, no allies, nothing. You don't have anything like that. So you have to follow this path only. That is why we are calling it guided. Since you are guided to one single route, via one route only. Yep. Wireless, what happens is you are using air as the medium. Like air is the you are using air and you are transferring everything via the air. Now this air is open, like you can go anyway, and it happens like that. Now Bluetooth, suppose I am transferring, I make my Bluetooth open. Now what happens is anyone who is near to me can access that Bluetooth. Though there might be some authentication. In case we turn off those authentication, anyone would be able to connect. Similarly, uh, those radio frequencies. Now in case we talk about radio frequency or microwave frequencies, so we have that radios, we have those TVs, and we have these mobile phones. Now what happens is The same frequency is available for everyone. Everyone can connect to that. But some authentication might be there for mobile phones that this is a SIM and this SIM will only accept this much of frequency or this much is only available to you. So that is why we are calling it unguided. Since it is not one single route, it is available for everyone. It is like the same signal is available in New Delhi, the same signal is available in Chennai, same is available in Trivandrum. Right. So it is unguided. It can go everywhere. But authentication will make it share data uh, where it is needed or where it is supposed to be. Someone got bored. I was saying a lot. Sorry. So I believe that was clear for everyone. So we can have transmission media of two types. One is wired and the other is wireless or unguided. Now, in case we talk about wired media, we can have a wired or guided media. We can have a few types of guided media, which was told to us by Pooja, coaxial. So the first would be coaxial cable. We would see what it looks like. After coaxial, we can have a twisted pair. Then we might have even optic fiber or fiber optic cable. Fine. Coaxial cable used in DTH. Fine. So, like we can, am I not? I'm really sorry, guys. I was, I thought I was already sharing. Sorry. Okay. So I was doing this and I was not sharing. Sorry. So the first is our coaxial cable. So let us see how it looks like. So this is our coaxial cable. Uh, Most of you have used it. You like have seen it in your what do you call in your cable connections, the DTH and all those things. I believe everyone has seen it at their homes, right? Yep, obviously. You and is my screen visible now? TV cable is one of the major places where you are using. But you can have like it can be used at many places. When TV cable, even in BTS and a lot of places we have used. Now it is all yeah like uh, have you ever heard of boosters? Uh, Mobile signal booster. Have you heard about it? So it is something like this. So all these cables that we are using here, they all are coaxial cables. It is used to boost the signal. Suppose you are in the basement, and in the basement you are not getting right amount of signals. So what you do is you can use this mobile signal boosters, and they will help you connect to them. Uh, it can be used for any kind of satellites, BTS. So they are, yeah, these are the major usage of coaxial cable. So the first, in case we talk about the different layers, so let us copy image and let us check this out. So it consists of four layers. The first is just an insulation. Then we have this conductor, then again an insulator, and then we have the conductor. Now, can anyone help us know why are we using two layers, or what would be the uh, use of this copper conductor, and what would be about this metal conductor? Insulators, you know why we are using it. So, what is the use of this metal conductor, and why is this copper conductor being used? This is normally a mesh. I don't know if you saw it clearly. Yes, this is a mesh. Like we have that mats. So it is like a mesh. For security, might be. So this copper conductor is the exact conductor where you are doing the actual transmission of data. Like this is transmitting all the data that you want to. That is the conductor. And this metal conductor or this mesh of conductor, it is canceling all the inductions that might happen. I believe you guys have heard about induction, induced currents. Copper conductor is for transmission of signals. Exactly. Uh, this copper conductor or the middle layer is for the real conduction, and this mesh is canceling all the induction. Those inductions would somehow become my noise signals. I'm not sure if you guys understand the noise signal, or do we? Suppose this is my suppose this is what we have. This is my signal. Let me go for analog signal. Now what happens is these are electrical signals, right? Now electricity can be affected by thunder, that will create some kind of induction, or if I have any EMF, electromagnetic field somewhere, or a magnetic field somewhere, that will affect this signal, and this might get distorted, something like this. There might we find due to the, right now we can see some like in Patna also we have thunders, so it might create some kind of noise signals, or due to induction and electromagnetic fields right near. So I believe you guys understood this. These distortions we call as noise signals. Right. So since this was my original signal, but we like it was bound to go straight, and that would give you the correct sound. But the problem is there is a distortion, and you might not be able to understand the clean signal. So that is why we are using this metal conductor or a mesh, which has so many of mesh. It is like, you understand, I believe you guys understand mesh. It is like when like even clothes can be said to be mesh. Now you have several wires which are up and down, and this will create, absorb all those EMF waves, those thunder waves, or any other induction waves that might try to creep into our original signal. So I believe that was clear. Now puja or some puja said for security. Yep, we can say, but instead of calling it security, let us call distortions. And guys, any questions on this? In case you want, I can make you understand again. And no, but in case it was clear, just let us know. And so I take that to be a no. So let us remove all these. Now, in case we talk about twisted pair, we can have different types of twisted pair. Uh, does anyone know, or let us first can explain once again? Fine. Swanaga, you should have said this before we closed it out. Fine, no problem. Hmm, so I can. So the first layer is a protective layer that is like securing the complete setup so that there is no physical damage. So that is what I believe you understand. Then we have one mesh. I believe you guys understand the term called mesh. Let me show you. Mesh is something like this, up and down. Like yep, you have seen these nets. They are a mesh. So this mesh, what it does is it absorbs any kind of yeah, like EMF field that might try to interact with my cable, or any kind of distortions that might try to creep in. So it handles all those outside signals, and it allows my original signal to pass through this copper cable without any distortions. Right. We are making it a mesh so that, like, from any of the sides, in case any distortion comes in, or in case we have a magnetic field right here, so that magnetic field does not affect the conductor. That doesn't make the signals on my conductor to make make a change in direction. So you guys must have learned about the EMF field. Like whenever you are applying a magnetic field, the electric field is bound to make a change to its orientation. Like this is what I am getting. Now what happens is if I apply a magnetic field, a north pole here and the south pole here, so what happens is this is bound to change its direction. It might not be that much, but it could be a slight distortion. So this is not something which is acceptable when we are talking about communication channels. That is one. Now thunderstorms. Now thunderstorms, we all have seen that when there is a lot of thunderstorm, and there is a lot of like thunder, our mobile signal also gets distorted. There is distortion in our connectivity and all those things. So that is because these thunderstorms are creating a great magnetic field, a great electrical field. Now that electrical field does make changes or does make some kind of induction in my original signal, and that needs to be removed. For all these purposes, we are using this mesh to cancel all the outside noise that might try to creep in to my uh, transmission signals. So this is what we have as our analog signal that is being transferred. That is what I saw. So what happens is at some places it has supposed to go straight, but because of that fields that we are creating, because yeah, like for with because of any reason, because of a magnetic field, because of an EMF field, because of a thunderstorm or anything, what happens is your signal goes a little weird. So there is some kind of spikes. Now these spikes are my noise, and we are using this mesh to cancel these noise so that whatever comes from outside is being absorbed in this layer only. The induction that has to be created, induction is created here. In case that EMF field is trying to create some kind of electric field in this conductor, so that's being a conductor, it itself will create that kind of electric field, and this wire does not get affected. So I believe that was clearer, or still if you need, I can go for it again. Yes, Anaga, please. And if it is not clear, Anaga, not a problem. You can ask again and again. I am there to help you out till you are really sure that you have understood this concept. So don't worry. I am here only for you. And guys, don't feel that I would feel bad or anything. It is for you. If I am wrong or if you are unable to understand me, just let me know. But please take care that I won't be able to change my language. In case someone wants to go for Hindi, that would be a problem. Uh, though I know Hindi, but I can't, since our other friends, they would also have the right, like in case I'm talking in Hindi, so they need to be taught in Malayali, Kannada, or Tamil or Telugu. So this is one consideration that you have to make. The rest, in case it is not about language, you can ask me again and again. So that is my coaxial cable. Now next is my twisted pair. So twisted pair can be of different types. Can anyone let me know what are the different types of twisted pair that we can have?
Shielded twisted,
I don't know what she wanted to say. I was unable
twisted
to.
pair and unshielded twisted pair.
Yep, yep, correct. One can be unshielded, the other can be shielded. I believe you guys understand shielded and unshielded. Uh, but yes, I have to make you understand shielded and unshielded. So, what do you think shielded is, and what do you think unshielded is? Let us try to. Like the problem is images. We need to check on the images. Yep. Uh, Again, this comes in. Now, what do you think shielded and unshielded are? We would be going to yeah, if someone has said something. Shielded means steel cover, fine, good. Shielded has an outer cover, correct. Shielded means you have an outer cover, and that is providing you with protection. So let us first talk about shielded pair. So they have. It is not that unshielded doesn't have any kind of insulation. It has, but shielded pair. Uh, so you can see this is my unshielded twisted pair, and from this insulation, my wire comes out. Right from this, your wire is coming out. But in case we are talking about shielded twisted pair, let me open this image. So let me copy this image, and in case my this one has come up, I don't know if my connectivity is going slow today. So in that case, let me copy this image. And this, I believe, would make it clear for you guys. This will give you a lot of clarity. So here you see there is no extra shielding, but here we have a lot of extra shielding. Like someone said steel, it might be a steel. I don't know if it is steel, but I believe it is aluminum foil. So I believe you are getting an idea about the difference between the shielded pair and the unshielded pair. Uh, I'm not talking about the usage, but just the architecture. This is a plastic cover, and right inside this plastic cover, your wires are coming out. But here you have this plastic cover. Inside this plastic cover, you have a foil. This normally is a uh, this normally is aluminium, or it might be copper, or any other conducting material at times. And within this, you are finding these twisted pair cables. Now, in case anyone of you did not understand, just let me know. No. Fine, I believe you understood the architecture. Now, here you can see there is a pair, like everywhere you are getting it in pairs. So that is why we are calling it twisted pairs. So you have 8 wires, and 8 wires you are making pairs of two each. So you are having a total of 4 pairs of wires. Now, what are we conducting in these pairs? 4 pairs, yeah, very good. So what are we conducting? So one cable would be out for each pair. The first cable would be carrying my signal, the original signal that I want, and the second would be carrying a reference signal that might be ground. the reference signal that might be ground or that might be the clock signal. The grounding reference, normally the ground signal, so that makes it the zero, similar to our normal AC supply that we have. One is you have two cables, you have normally you have three. So when we are talking about DC supply, you don't have the ground, so you are still having a zero reference. So this reference is your ground, and the other is carrying your signal. So it is true for both, even if it is unshielded or shielded. So the only difference between shielded and unshielded is this other protective layer. So I believe you guys got this, the signal and the reference. Or in case you have a doubt, just let me know. Since we are working in a virtual mode, so I am unable to see your faces. So I don't know if you guys, I'm not getting any verbal cues, and you guys are not even speaking at all. Or let us try to watch a video. Let us go for a coaxial cable video. In case we can find any animation, so that animation will make it look uh, easier. Coaxial cable animation. So what they do is I have seen a lot of videos that is into animation, and that really makes you understand things much better. So I don't know if fine. I will come to that. Don't worry. Magnetic field in I don't know if you were able to understand this. I'm talking about this. So you can take this to be your copper conductor. This is a video for coaxial cable. So this is the copper conductor that we talked about. Wait. And this is the mesh that we are having outside. Now just let us see. When you are applying current to this, it would create a field, a magnetic field also. It is not only that it is the outside signals are coming in. The inside signals that are being created here are also creating a magnetic field. Induction happens whenever we have current, we are having an induction, and that induction creates a magnetic field. That is for sure. You don't, you can't have a doubt about it. It has to be there. Now, once you are applying a current to this, this is creating a magnetic field, and that magnetic field, in case it goes outside, it might uh, come into contact with the outside magnetic fields, and that would cause a lot of trouble. So, what it does is it cancels all the signals that might come out. So that is what we have for coaxial cable. Then let us go for twisted pair. Twisted pair cable animation, in case I can find an animation. Uh, animated. Let us go for a video. Let us see what she has to say. Someone is trying to say something. No sound in the video. There was nothing I wanted to share. Like whatever it was, I did not want anything to be shared with you. There was nothing in it. So someone said, what are the different, yeah, like different colors and wires, what they are doing. So uh, each of them has a specific purpose. But what I want was telling you was for each pair. Now you have this brown and white brown. Uh, are you getting me? Like, do you guys understand that if everywhere we are having pairs, and now each pair is having a kind of color combination. Now blue is always twisted with white blue. Orange is always connected with or twisted with orange. Yeah, like yeah, brown. Brown is always twisted with brown white. Green is always twisted with green white, and black with white. So these are the four different cables that we are having, four different pairs. So is that clear to everyone? Now, of each of these pairs, one of them in each pair, one is carrying a signal, and to that signal we have a ground signal, reference ground signal. So one is carrying a signal, the other is carrying a reference signal. Are you getting me? Someone has said something. So that is my shielded and that is my twisted pair. So mm, we would come to how to mm, create that connector, and there we would be learning which color combination, like the exact color combination and what functions they exactly provide. So we have this, yeah. And one more thing that we need to understand, and this is what, yes, this is. I am sharing this. This seems to be a better video since you guys are unable to hear the voice from my end. So so this is the different function of the different wires we would be having. That is at around 3:30. So I would suggest you to go through this video. This will make you understand this better. Since again, these things need the real physical devices to understand much better. Now, in that was about twisted pair. Uh, mm, in case we talk about unshielded pair, we saw. Mm, and in case we talk about shielded pair, what do you think this extra metal shield, what is the purpose it is providing me? Again, the same function that we were having here. Uh, in taking care of the noise signal, avoid any kind of induction or interference. Besides, this is also providing you with extra protection. from any wear and tear. So this is a shielded and unshielded pair. Uh, in case we talk about the usage, so the largest use of this twisted pair is our LAN. We are using in LAN cables, we are using unshielded pair normally, or you can use shielded pair as well. Not a problem, though both can be used, but shielded pair gives you extra security against wear and tear and noise interference. So that is my shielded and unshielded pair. So I don't know if that was really clear to everyone or not. Someone is saying something. Yeah, white, green, green, white, orange, blue. So that is how you make the yeah, like when you are creating uh, when you are creating what okay. The ports, this is the color combination that we go for. White green is matched with a green. Orange white is matched with a blue. White blue is matched with orange. White brown is matched with a brown. Now where is my black? Or this black was in case you are losing on it. So again, fine. So you have color coding for creating Ethernet cable. Exactly. So this is when you are creating those connectors, you are using these pairs. So this, I believe, would be done when they would be starting with the practicals at your own centers. So that would be done. Now getting back the usage, in case we talk about the usage, so LAN is the biggest use. You might use it for even for DSL lines, for telephone lines that might be used. So it can have various usage. Uh, there might be a few advantages. RJ45 exactly. RJ45 cable. RJ45 ports in case RJ45 ports or RJ45 connector, better to say. Yep, this is your RJ45, and this is the color combination you would be getting. So that is what Pooja was telling us. This is our color combination. Now, this is how you put in the wire, you open the wire and you put it in like that. So this is how you make those connections. You, this audio, punch cards, punch, punch card. I don't I'm not very sure what you mean by this punch card. Uh, Punch cards we used like a long time back. We used these punch cards as our programming language or programming device. So I don't know what it is. So again, this RJ45 cables are our Ethernet cables. So that is what we are having. Yep. Now, in case we want, we might go for the different usage, different advantages. So we will talk about that later. Now, the finally we have those fiber optic cables. Now, I believe most of you have already seen a fiber optic cable. Sorry, I believe I had a problem with my network. The fiber optic cable is fast transmission in compared to cable. Yep, it uses pulses of light for transfer the data, right? So this is normally a fiber uh, fiber. Now you are having a lot of fiber, yeah, like a lot of protection. You have the outer jacket, then we have the a strengthening jacket, then you have a coating, and then a cladding, and then you have the real cable. Now, why do you think we are using this much of protection? These are the ports that are used for connections. You can see here, uh, the ports that we are having, they are putting these connectors. These we create these connectors and we put in into the places where it is needed. So why do you think we are using this much of uh, thing? What was the image that we were started with? Suppose this is this fiber is extremely fragile and delicate. So being delicate and uh, someone has said something. Fine. So these fibers are very delicate and very fragile. They can break very easily. That is what I can make out. Now, these cables might break very easily. That is why we are using a lot of preventive material that will allow this cable to not break. Now, over time, and again, the biggest problem with this optic fiber is it is very expensive, and making a connection between two different optic fibers is really a tough task. Not a very tough task, it is also very expensive task. You will need diamond to cut through this. Now, that diamond is in there in a splicer. So that splicer is really very expensive. Now let me show you fiber splicing. This is a splicing machine, and that is really very expensive, and it needs a lot of delicacy. That is really very delicate. In case we can see how to fuse. Now that would be, I believe, a small video. You can read the subtitles. So this is how a fiber splicing is done. I will share this video with you all. You might check it out. Let me share it right here. Uh, so this is a video. Now, the biggest problem with this cable is in case it breaks, that is fine. It will cause a lot of loss. But now where the fiber has been cut, that becomes the real trouble. And once you figure out where it has been disrupted, you need to attach together two different fibers, and that too is a very costly process. Now, like in case you have your own device, then again it won't be that like expensive. But in case your device you don't have a device and you ask someone to come in, that will take a lot of money. They charge a lot of money. So this is fiber splicing, and now this fiber, let me check out. Since we are using electric pulses to send our data, not electric, but light signals, light pulses. So light pulses, they travel at a speed of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second, or 3 lakh kilometer per second. So that is the kind of speed you would be getting. So in case you have a fiber across the globe, so it will travel within a second. So that is why fiber optics is getting very, very popular. Uh, the loss is very minimal, and the quality is really high, and it is very fast. But it is a little expensive and very delicate to maintain. So these are the different kinds of wired media that we might have. In case anyone has any question, fine. The other is my unguided media. Unguided media, we can have a few different frequencies. The first would be my radio frequency. Radio. I should have written it. The radio. Then we can have microwave, and then we can have satellite communication. Now, first we have the radio communication or radio waves. Uh, so what do you understand by radio waves and what it is all about? The difference between this microwave and the radio wave is only one thing, the frequency that we are using. So what do you what are your ideas or what would you like to say? Fine. So we are sending electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. The next is we are using a frequency range of the bandwidth of 3 kilohertz to 1 kilohertz. The example, radio waves, in case we talk about radio waves, uh, mm, normally we are using it for unicasting. It might not support multicasting because the bandwidth is really very less. So when we are again, I don't know if you guys have an understanding of multicasting and unicasting, multicasting and broadcasting. So let me mention these two. Unicasting, do you guys have any idea what we mean by unicasting? Multicasting and broadcasting. One to one is called unicasting. Good. So when we are talking about unicasting, we have one sender uh, and one receiver. One sender and one receiver. That is my unicasting. Right. So, like there are many receivers, but only one sender, and he needs to send it to one particular device. We would be calling it unicasting. Then we have multicasting. Multicasting can be suppose one sender, one receiver out of 10. Out of 10, then it is unicasting. Now you have one sender, but multi might be 6 receivers out of 10, then it becomes multicasting. But one sender is there and all are the receivers. Now all 10 are receiving. Then we call it broadcasting. So in case we talk about radio waves, uh, they can be used for multicasting or even broadcasting. So we can have it for televisions, radios, even pagers. They can be used. They have a very low bandwidth. They can be they can penetrate walls, but they can't penetrate like very big walls. They would be facing trouble in penetrating. So broadcasting is one to all. Everyone is receiving. But if you have multi receivers, but not all, not everyone can receive. In that case, we call it multicasting. So that is my radio waves, 3 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz to 3 kilohertz, or better to say 3 kilohertz, higher to low electromagnetic waves that are can be used for broadcasting or multicasting. That is my radio waves, mostly used for televisions and radios. They can penetrate objects. They can penetrate objects, a lot of objects they can penetrate. So even if you are in a building, you would get the signals. They can be regulated using antennas. So that is what we have as radio waves. Then comes our microwave. So microwaves, when we talk about microwaves, what is the signals that we are using? The frequency. Again, this is also a electromagnetic wave. Microwaves, they can be said to be okay. Hmm, small signals. Micro means small. What else? So in case we talk about the frequency, 2.45 gigahertz. I'm not sure 2.45 gigahertz is supported in microwaves or not. 2.45 gigahertz. Microwave at a frequency of 2.45 gigahertz. What kind of wave is 2.45 gigahertz? They can thank the microwave. Fine, sorry. I was like a little mistaken. Hmm, I was a little mistaken. Yeah. So, in case we talk about microwaves, the signals might be within 800 megahertz uh, to 3.2 megahertz, yeah, 3.2 gigahertz or 3200 megahertz. Uh, like we for our mobile communication, we are using between 800 something, 845 megahertz to uh, like uh, uh, for 3G we used 2300 megahertz. For 4G 2300 megahertz. So this is the frequency range we were using. A few things about microwaves. They are so small that they can easily pass through most of the objects. For most of the objects, they can be used for multicasting. So a lot of users can use, but you can decide which user does not receive your signals. So that is mm, what we have. Huh. And in case we talk about, yeah, it can be used for multicast. It can be used for unicasting as well. We are using those satellite communication channel, like the army uses the satellite phones. So that is about unicasting. Only one user, one sender and one receiver. That frequency cannot be used by any other. So that is one. Multicasting, it can be used. It can also be used for broadcasting. So it can use all, and we can use antennas for it. Like, so it supports line of sight communication. Now, again, we are in case we talk about, okay, microwave is from, okay, I am really I missed on. I just counted the mobile phone connectivity, the cellular phone connectivity. That is somewhat a little less than 1 gigahertz to 2300 gigahertz. That is what it is using. But it is a very large one. It is above 1 t hertz. So fine. Okay, so whatever I said, that was a little wrong. So thank you for correcting me. Uh, and in case we talk about line of sight communication, we need to understand mm, wave propagation. So now this, I don't know if you guys can say it very clearly. Let me add it here. This image doesn't seem to be clear. Let me open this. So you can see that we have two towers, those transmitting stations, or those uh, stations. Now you have transmission antenna and receiving antenna. So on each and every mobile tower, you would be seeing various antennas, very large antennas. So they have their own range. That might be like 800 meters to 5 kilometers. Now, in remote areas, you might find even 10 kilometers. That is also another range, but it has to be in the line of sight. So it might not support anything that goes beyond 20 kilometers. It will never support. And again, we would be finding a lot of trouble when it is a hilly terrain. So it needs to be aligned. So whatever signals are uh, like uh, being sent from here to here, they must have a proper line of sight communication. So in case you have a hill in between, there won't be any communication. Uh, in case somehow uh, the alignation doesn't work, like it is not alienated due to some reason, the communication channel would be broken. So this is my line of sight communication, 1 GHz, mainly line of sight, free space. Yeah. Now, let us see one more image. Hmm, let's go through it. About 30 miles. That is the maximum, I believe, that is available. But that would be in areas which are very remote, where you cannot reach very easily. So that is where they are putting up to almost 30 miles. That would count to around like 50 kilometers, a little less than 50 kilometers. But that has to be in the line of sight. So that is what we have. One more image. Uh, Now, this is one image that I would like to show you. So you have these transmission towers. Now, these transmission towers are using microwaves to transmit their signals properly. And from these transmission lines, you are using those coaxial cables to bring it to the BTS. So a communication tower is not only using microwave but also a guided media that probably is coaxial cable. So that is what we have for the different. Uh, did we miss on something? Radio waves we talked about, microwaves we talked about. Then we can have infrared signals. Now, whoever shared this image, I would really like to thank him. Now, look, the infrared signals are using a very high frequency that is above 1 terahertz, 1 terahertz. So that is really very high, and that 1 terahertz makes it like this will not traveling for again. We talked about our communication channels. 2.5 gigahertz is the maximum that we are using for our mobile communication. So above that, you are using it for terrestrial communication and satellite communication. So when you go above 1 terahertz, now what happens is our signals are not that small. It might not be able to penetrate a lot of things, even walls we talk about or a steel sheet, it won't be able to cross. So we are getting the infrared signals which are or which can be used only for a distance communication small distance communication, and that might not accept any kind of uh, boundary or anything which comes in that cannot be used. And then you need to have a line of sight propagation. Even we saw with the line of sight communication for these microwaves. So anything that is going beyond that, it would be using a line of sight communication. So that is what we have here for the different communication media. we have these unguided media. Then we might talk about the different tools that we might be using. So the different tools that needs to be understood. Let me Ethernet color. So someone said we can use crossover and straight through. Now, can anyone help me understand what you meant by crossover and straight through, and where we are using straight through and where we are using crossover? This is what you guys told me might be yesterday. We can use those Ethernet cables in either straight through or crossover. Now, when we are using straight through and when we are using those crossover, now I am not very sure, but you guys even told me the answer that day. Uh, you should use the, he seems to have copied it from somewhere, straight through cable when you are want two devices of different types. Yeah. And crossover cable when you are, yes. Yeah. When we are trying to connect different devices, uh, different types of devices. Now, suppose I want to connect a computer to another device that might be my router or anything. Uh, then we are using, in that case, we are using straight through. But in case I am connecting a switch to a switch, I would be using crossover. Did you guys understand this? If I want to connect my computer to a switch, to a router, to a hub, I would be using a straight through. Since straight through is used to connect different types of devices. But in case I want to connect, we will come to that. We will come to that. But in case I want to connect a computer to a computer, I would be using a crossover. Now, suppose I am in a peer-to-peer network, I would be using a crossover. In case I want to connect a switch to a switch, I would be using a crossover. In case I want to connect a switch to a router, in that case, we would be using a Yep. What would we be using in case I am connecting a switch to a router? Yes, guys. Anyone? I want to connect a switch to a router. What would I be using? Straight. Right. Now, this is a question that came up a bit early today. Uh, the different cables and their usage. So basically, four cables we are using, and the other four are used for grounding or reference grounding. Use of crossover. Yep, good. So when we are connecting like devices, computer to a computer, switch to a switch, router to a router, we are using crossover. And in case we are using switch to a router or a computer to a switch, we are using straight through. Good. Now, this is a question that I said we would be coming to when we would be trying to understand the configuration. So, uh, like this question was like, what is the use of the different cables? So we understood that we are having four pairs. This is what we have already discussed. Out of these four pairs, four are carrying signals, and the other four are reference. Right? I believe everyone recalls this. Now, out of this pair, one would be carrying a signal, and the other would be carrying a reference signal. That would be the ground signal. Out of this pair, one would be carrying a signal, the data, and the other would be carrying the reference signal. So we are having Hindi pakoda. Fine. In that case, what we can have, we can like let us complete this, and after that we would be winding up for the day. So I believe you understood this. A total of 8 cables are there in our twisted pair. 8 cables, be it twisted, unshielded or shielded. Give me a couple of minutes. I would be winding up. Just let me know in case you understood this much. 8 cables, 4 pairs. In these 4 pairs, we are having eight, yeah, 4 pairs, yeah, like 4 wires for signals and 4 for reference. And that reference is ground. Like you are sending 2 volts, so you need to send 0 volt as well. This is what we talked like when we are getting a supply in our houses, we are getting a neutral and a live wire. Similarly, we have this ground signal, and we are talking about a DC circuit. We are having a positive current, and then we are having a zero. So we are sharing 1 and 0 on the different cables. Now, that is what we are having. One would be carrying the signal, and the other would be carrying the reference, the ground signal. Uh, FCS, I don't know what it is. I understand this. Okay, I believe that was clear. Now, 4 references understood. Then we have the 4 signals cables. Now, that 4 cable signals can be taken to be from here. One is we are having 2 transmission and 2 receiver uh, cables. So that is what we are having for our. Yeah. two transmission and two receivers. So like I believe you guys are already getting service started. So what we can do is we can wind up for the day and we can start right from here where we were working on yeah, like in the afternoon we will be starting right from here where we were discussing the different cables. So those who need to go, you might leave for connect computer to router directly. Then which cable? Now this is what we already discussed. Now Pooja, what do you think you would be using? Yes, Pooja. Computer and router, they both are different devices. For different devices, we would be using what? Straight through, right? For similar, we would be using crossover. Now, any more questions? Now, many of you are moving out, so not a problem. Fine then, in case we don't have any questions, then let us, we won't be meeting in the afternoon. You would be taken care of by Kashif, who would be our other trainer, who would be helping you out with the physical devices of the computer. So I won't be available, but he would be taking care of it. Thank you, team. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ganga. Thank you, everyone.